The richest person in the world has made a lot of his wealth from an early stage investment in a then little known startup, putting in a relatively small check in 2004 and then stepping in to take the company to $1 trillion in valuation by 2021. And that company has changed the roadmap of an entire industry. From Elon Musk at Tesla to Peter Thiel at Facebook, operator angels are like the secret sauce to startup success. They're a bit like free radicals in the venture ecosystem. They're called missionaries, sometimes evangelists, and have contributed to some of the most radical drivers of change in the world. Tesla and Facebook being great examples of that disruption. Put simply, operator angels are independent decision makers who invest in companies early, work in the trenches with the founders, sometimes even stepping into active roles themselves to drive emerging trends. And I imagine a world driven by compassionate operator angels, investing their capital, but more importantly, their time, expertise, and network to fuel 100 climate unicorns. I am an operator angel in sustainability and climate, and this is my climate journey. I grew up in and around Delhi, the capital city of India, and spent the first quarter of my life innocently oblivious to my impact or the possible role I can play in climate change. It was only after living in a whole other part of the world that my trips back home made me notice how the city had changed over time. Made me realize how living in a place through time makes these small but escalating changes come unnoticed and go unrealized. And I'm sure a lot of people relate to this feeling, struggling to engage with the realities of climate change. Our mental models, the way we think through how some things work, makes it difficult to change our existing worldviews. Views which are based on incomplete facts, past experiences, and intuitive perceptions, sometimes fallacies. Breaking down these fallacies through time has helped me stop and notice the change, understand our failing ecosystems, but most importantly, question how I can meaningfully contribute to changing this reality. Let's start with the biggest fallacy of them all, which blankets all of the blame for the current state of our world on capitalism, corporate greed, and our political leaders. We are very quick to dismiss our own role in this climate mess. Together, we have all played our part to reach where we are at the moment. From every internet dependency that we have, which contributes to about 3.7% of the global greenhouse emissions, to every flight we take, which surprisingly contributes the same amount of global emissions as our innocent internet habits. From every fast fashion we partake in, to every food choice that we make, we contribute to the climate mess. And I realized the depth of my climate mess as I understood my own carbon footprint over the years. Breaking down this fallacy has helped me realize how I can bring about change in the smallest of ways, in medium sized ways, and in potentially enormous ways. And one of these ways has been through capital. So let's talk about the fallacy of capital that fuels societal change. To most people, capital equals raising funds. And startup culture has sold everyone on the idea that raising more funds equates more success. Most people tend to think of startup funding and venture capital in the same breath. And to that note, we are inadvertently relying on these venture firms to be the sole drivers of change. And to me, that is a very scary thought. I don't want to live in a world where we put all our eggs of change in one basket. This societal change has to be brought about by individual ideas, and a lot of them, as many of them as we can possibly think. These baby cons, these individual entrepreneurs starting their climate journey, need a lot of small checks, and more importantly, need a lot of human capital to create a spark, a carbon neutral spark. And the first step for me to get going on this journey was to have a strong reason why. Why do I want to drive the world in a certain direction, and what would it take for me to do that? A lot of operator angels have an unwavering dedication towards their vision, their direction. And my hope today is more individuals choosing sustainability and climate as that direction. And more people are choosing this direction faster than you think. Rolling funds and syndicates like AngelList are already on the rise, having invested in more than 5,000 startups in their early stages. A lot of these startups being in sustainability and climate. And now, quite frankly, you don't have to be a high net worth individual to invest in a whole range of asset classes that align with your own vision. On this journey, you will find lots of brilliant, dedicated people to invest in, a lot of new perspectives to add to your climate realities, and most importantly, you will discover a promise of change. When I first started on this journey, I was looking for ways to invest in sustainability, and I came across a platform that would let me invest in building out green assets. It was envisioned and implemented by these young, passionate co founders based in Bangalore, India. And they had translated a part of my vision into reality. So I searched for ways to get involved, to help push this amazing financial product to every investor in India and then potentially the world. Think of how much green infrastructure we can build by tapping into this underutilized capital. Think of how much we can support our governments, our officials in making strong climate goals. And that was my amateur, almost romanticized foray into angel investing. And now it's difficult to stop. It's difficult to stop when I can see real change happen right in front of me. And when I can play a small but meaningful part in that push. Finally, if I have nudged you into this direction and you are on your climate journey, be resilient and fight like hell. Fight like our lives depend on it. And if you join the fight, you know one operator angel will be by your side. Together, we need to bring our collective expertise and our undying hope to accelerate the transition to a healthier planet. Find a very strong reason why you want to join this collective, gigantic effort. Invest in ideas, invest in people, and fight like hell to make the next climate unicorn. Thank you.